Black women aren't behind because we're irresponsible. We are behind because of what we carry. We're going to be talking about why so many of us feel behind financially and how to change that starting now. Let's just talk about the systematic factors, okay? We're going to get right into it. We're not going to cookie cut or play around with nothing. There's a lot of systematic factors on why us Black women over 40 are behind. Now, I'm not saying all, but there's a chunk of us. You know what I mean? I know at one point I was behind. And I had to sit back and say, how am I going to pull myself out the what do they call it? Barrel of crabs or crabs of barrel, however, yeah, barrels of crab. We're going to go with that one. So how I'm going to pull myself out? The wage gap. Black women make the lowest. Even if you are a high earner, you're still lower than your counterparts and the male. It's what it is. It's the way the system has been designed. These are systematic factors. So let's keep this train going. Caregiving roles. Sometimes when you become a caregiver and you're not in the workforce, you don't have the skill. Not that you can't get the skills later, but you sit back and think about how so many stay-at-home moms, some crazy crap happens, a divorce, and we're going to get into that too later. A divorce happens. She has to get out there now. And then they say, well, what kind of experience have you had? And she showed a resume how she may have worked when she was younger, since she had a gap and she's trying to get back in. Well, I was a stay-at-home mom. Not of her fault, but due to systematic factors. Divorce. These are systematic factors that keep Black women behind because depending on how things were set up, a lot of women, especially before me, a lot of women weren't doing the bills. The men were doing it. The men were the providers. They may have gave their wives some money, and things like that. And they went and got groceries. They did take care of whatever. But major bills when it came down to like housing, if it was rent, mortgage, phone bills and electric bills and things like that, car notes, insurance, the men handled that. And even in this day and age, let's bring it up some. Let's bring it up to where we are now. It still can happen. Even if you have a 2-income household, both individuals are putting in, we're talking about marriage now, and even if you're just dating, whatever that goes, both putting in, then you separate. You got accustomed to 2 incomes. Now you got to go down. Not that you can't survive off of your 1 income, but those are some ways that can make you behind because now you got to get your wheels turning. You got to get accustomed to your new lifestyle that can put you behind. Maybe you can't invest, you can't save. You got to buy new furniture. Then you got to put things on credit cards. You got to pay the credit card back. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to pay your first month deposit. You got to buy a house. You got to do that. The list can go on. And these life events can put someone behind when you were trying to go like this. It's a short behind. It can be like a little stump in the road, but you can definitely get through it. But these are just some ways on how it can definitely mess up a Black woman and she can be behind in her retirement, And this cannot, I don't want to seem like I am focusing on Black women. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm focusing on us. But this can definitely focus on others as well. But that's what we're here for. You get it, okay? And one more, late investing. You guys know recently I went to Fidelity. If you are listening or you just happen to find this video, I have a series on my YouTube channel where I'm actually taking you through me becoming 50 and things that I am doing to jumpstart my 50s and to glide into my 50s and live a really, really good life. We may be good now and we may have all our ducks in a row, but it's always good to be better. So we always going to strive to be better. So I went to Fidelity and I opened up a brokerage account and investing, learning how to do stocks and mutuals, all the different things, because you won't get rich working your day job. How you get rich, how you get wealthy, how you get financially stable is by either real estate or investing. So you pick your two. I feel like investing is something that we can all do. We can chunk it off or do a little bit at a time, or we can go aggressive if we want to, and we can see the money actually compound. And it's doing it in your sleep. If you want to know more about that and see that journey and see how you can implement some things for yourself, come on over to the channel, subscribe, and come on over if you're listening. Follow your girl. Don't just listen to me. Come watch because we do have a good time. We do have a good time over there. The ladies leave some comments. Let everybody know how good of a time we're having with that particular series. It is vlog style, so you'll be able to see me, more of me, get to know me, and pretty much what you get here is what you get over there. You're just seeing more of me and how I'm handling life and what some things that we go through as women over 40. I try to keep it as real as possible. I don't try, I do, because this is me. Okay? This is me. Do I cuss? Yes. Do I come out regular? Yes. I'm not snazzy, jazzy, put together all the time. I like to be comfortable. I like to be chill. I like to pull out hoodies that got a hole in it. I like to wear some raggedy t-shirts. I got at home clothes, house clothes. I'm regular, but guess what? We can all relate some way, somehow. Okay? So let's move on because we done derailed. So now that we've talked about some systematic factors, what are some emotional factors? Because it definitely comes in. Avoidance of feeling like this not for you. You can't do it. It's too hard. Fear of numbers. I mentioned in my retirement video, me becoming 50 and me doing my investment planning, that I felt like this was out of reach for me. I felt like this was for the elite. This was for the people who made the 1%, or this was just for them. You had to be a part of a certain group to invest. But not knowing these same people have their investments here as well. They're using the Vanguards. They're using the Fidelities. They're using the Swabs, There may be some other higher in black market things that we don't know about, but people are using these. You know what I mean? These is what we hear on the NASDAQ. This is what we hear when we hear them ring the bell. Things are not out of reach. We're just afraid because we may have not been exposed to it. And I know for me, I'm going to share. I wasn't. I didn't learn about finances and doing checkbooks and things like that through school. I learned how to do a checkbook from watching my mom. And I was so intrigued that my mom would sit down once a month and every 2 weeks when she got paid. And she's writing in this book. And she got like a log up top and not the checks at the bottom. She's tearing them off, saving the little carbon copy at the bottom. What are you doing over there? I was a nosy little thing. Nosy. And then I said, I want one of those. Not knowing I'm speeding my damn life up, wanting to be grown, thinking, but I had such an independence in me. But I had an independence in me, but yet I also had a dependent in me where I wanted to grow up, but I didn't want to grow up. Girl, we're going to get into that. In addition to fear of numbers, there's financial shame. Again, like I said, feeling like you're not supposed to be a part of this. Feeling like you don't make enough. I got to make ends meet over here. I got mouths to feed. I got kids over here. I got to pay for childcare. I got a partner over here. He can't do but so much, but better have a piece of man than no man. We ain't doing that. But you know what I'm saying. You know exactly what I'm saying. I had to chuckle, but no, there's no financial shame. We're here learning. We're holding each other's hand, and we're going to not be afraid to do things that we want to do. And let me tell you something. Even though I went in for an appointment for my investment, you don't have to. You don't have to. You can make your accounts online. I really want to do a video about Fidelity so bad because when I went in, if me thinking that it was more to it, I could have did this at my home. But also sitting down talking with someone, it makes you feel more comfortable. So I'm not going to take that away from you if you just want to go into the office and talk to someone and have that one-on-one, because I don't want to take anything away from you. But those of you who are go-getters, because I wasn't that go-getter. I had to go in there and sit down. For those of you who are go-getters and say, you know what, I'm going to take this by the horns, go online. Make the account. It's so easy. But if you want me to do it, just let me know. I'll do it. So what is our fix-it strategy? You know, we always have to come together and figure out how we're going to get a resolution so we won't feel like we're behind and what we're going to do, how we're going to move forward, because we got to make sure we good. You know, retirement is right around the corner. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to get our finances in order? Know your number. We do not have to be behind because of life events. Those can be lessons learned, so now we know how to move forward. So now that we've been through so much and we got the system held us back, life held us back, now it's time for us to get right. Because I know I've definitely been there where childcare came first, rent came first, car note came first. And then when I said, hey, we got to get out of this. And that's when I made some changes in my life and move forward. So know your number. Know what your number is and what you want that number to be. So when it's time for you to retire, you can be good and solid. Increase your contributions. That's where I am. Okay. Yes, I may have other things surrounded by me, but now I'm here in my own lane. I'm not worrying about what job has going on. I got it over there. That's solid. I got some other little things that I have going on that's solid. Now, this is how I make my own lane. I ride it out and I'm in control of my own lane. It feels totally different when you're in control. And you may sit and say, well, Kelly, hold on. I'm in control if I'm putting in on my 401 and my pension at my job. You are, and you got to keep that job too. So you can keep getting that going. And you got to have a job to stay in your own lane too. Or you got to have some form of income to stay in your own lane. But when you are able to put the amount that you want to put, that's called control. So that's even if you just want to put $10 or you want to put $500 or you want to put $100 or you want to put $700. That's called control. You're doing it the way you want to do it. So you want to up your contributions. Do what best fits for you. Eliminate debt, high interest credit cards, all the things. Subscriptions, you and I talk about that. Spending out, eating out, doing all the things. I know I do it every so often, but I do it within reason, and I also do it on points. Let me give you a little thing here. When I'm out eating, I make sure that my meal is free. Free. You don't have to go on a solo date every week. Now, if it calls for it, if stress is high and you need to have a little woosah with yourself, then rock out. But when I go out, Nowadays, it's like once a month, maybe every quarter, depending on how it goes. But I use my credit cards. And for those of you who saw it on my vision board, where I had Uber Eats, I had Rizzy up there because of my credit cards. That allows me to go out and eat. That's a perk that I have. Ladies, I love finance, but I know I don't want to talk finance too hard because it's for educational purposes only. We all have our own journey on how we do things. It was at one point, I was afraid of credit cards. Afraid. I know I told one of my girlfriends, we were talking about how I use my American Express. I use my American Express card as cash. And she's told me how she spoke to a financial advisor years ago. And they said, if you can't buy groceries with cash, then you're doing something wrong. And I said, I don't buy groceries with cash. And I know darn well I ain't doing nothing wrong. Because what I do, I hold on to my cash. And I know some people may say, you hold on to your cash, it might be a small interest or whatever. You have to put your money in a high yield savings. Have your money work for you. And have it to where it works for you, to where you have your money in your high yield savings, which American Express does have. You have your money going up in there and it's working for you, right? Now you done earned a little bit of money on your money that's sitting in there. I'm not saying 1,000, 2,000. You got to have some money sitting in there. Because that's how you get, $500 or $1,000 on entrance. You got to have some cake up in there. Okay, now you done spent your American Express credit card on groceries. Guess what? You use that account to pay for that credit card. Girl, I love it. Let me tell you something. Having your money in Bank of America, having your money in Chase is not going to grow. I know you guys see it. You have your money sitting in there, you get 0.00001%, and you get 10 cents at the end of the year, at the end of the month. If you are disciplined and you can pay your credit cards off at the end of the month, if you know, hey, after I pay my bills, after I put my savings to the side, after I do all these different things, and now I have $2,000 or $1,000 that I can just either save some more or I can go have fun. And I don't mean have fun, but you might have to buy some groceries. Somebody might need something, maybe need some new sneakers, might need some new socks, might not need something for a play or something like that. Halloween, you know how things just be popping up. You use your card. Now this is educational purpose only. This is not, I'm not a financial advisor. I got to put that out there. Disclaimer. Use your card. Guess what now that's happened? You're building your credit, you're building trust, you're earning points. Know when your billing cycle is, you pay it off. Now you got points, perks. Now you get ready to got free flights, free hotels, free rental, insurance on cell phones. You got so much going on just because you used your credit card and you paid it off with that same cash grocery money you would have spent on it anyway. That same cash that you got sitting there, you would have bought the groceries with. Now, if you go ahead and buy your groceries with the cash, you ain't earn no points. You ain't build no relationship. You ain't build no trust. You ain't got no points. Ladies, play the game. And something about me putting it on my vision board, which is sitting right across from me. As I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm looking at it. Uber Eats. Now, I done spent my Rizzy points because I done been out having a good time at the restaurant. But guess what? I can order Uber Eats. It can come delivered to my home. Or I can do pickup. And you earn points. You earn points. Let me tell you something. One thing I am truly invested in, is American Express. I am thoroughly invested. And I look at it. And I keep that, I have up here 810 for credit score. My credit score is higher than that. But 810 reminds me, it's excellent, but you keep it there. Don't play with yourself. Don't play with your money. Don't play with what you have going on. And that's a reminder. I put intentional things in front of me, not things to get, but things to do to make sure I maintain my lifestyle. And believe it or not, guess what I have up there? A high rise. I have a high rise. And I'm going to let you know what that is. It's letting me know, Kelly, get what you want. However that might look. Go and get it. If I don't get it this year, I know I'm going to get it. I'm going to put it out there already. I love this conversation. And last but not least, learn basic investing. I am going to bring some investing here to the channel. We're definitely going to be talking about investing because the same way how I'm learning, I want you to learn. And those of you who are savvy with investing, let us know. Chime in down below. Let us know. Because at the end of the day, like I said before, I'm holding your hand and you are holding mine because we learn it together. Now, we ain't out here ready to be wasting and losing money. No, we ain't doing that. We doing sustainable, low risk, guaranteed return on investment. So we know we can kind of gauge, okay, if we keep this amount of money in, we're going to get this amount of return. If we get this amount of return in a 12-month span, we're going to have this. If we do this over a 5-year span, we're going to have this. So we're doing projection and forecasting. Girl, you getting me in my finance talk, y'all. But always know you are not behind. You are becoming informed. And that's why I do my series, Becoming 50, because we are becoming, okay? We are becoming informed. If you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe, thumbs up. If you are listening, follow. Ladies, if you know any other Black women over 40 who you think would enjoy conversations like this, who would want to be a part of our community, share this with her. Tell her to come on over, get down with us, and I will catch you in the next conversation.